Alright, so today I got my hands on the new Meta Quest 3S. So kind of the whole point of the 3S is Meta is trying to get back into the world of budget VR and now budget mixed reality on top of that. So they haven't had a budget headset in quite a while because they did have the 64GB Quest 2 at $299. So the price went from $299 to $399. So it's been at least 2 or 3 years since Meta's had the headset at $299. And not only does this one do all the same stuff that the Quest 2 did at $299, now you have color cameras, so you could do full mixed reality, more horsepower, and support for the newest games like Batman Arkham Shadow. So I bought this on sort of a Black Friday deal, so to speak. Just about anywhere you buy a Quest 3S, whether it's Amazon, Best Buy, Target, they will give you $75 back. Now at Best Buy it's in the form of a gift card, but if you order on Amazon, pay $300 for the headset and then you get a $75 account credit back. So to speak, this headset is about $225-ish right now, which is a absolute steal in my opinion. I still have my Quest 2, so I'm gonna kind of put them side by side and run you through some of the differences / upgrades. And Meta's always really liked their sort of eco-friendly packaging, as little plastic as possible. No shrink wrap or plastic twist ties or anything like that. It's pretty much all cardboard and paper. So once you get the sleeve off, everything neatly unfolds. So we immediately have the headset and the controllers and all that. Just a couple pamphlets, booklets, information, etc. And here is the Quest 3S headset itself. So to kind of run down the spec sheet off the top of my head, the Meta Quest 3S is running a identical display setup as the Meta Quest 2. So you're looking at the same Fresnel lenses and the same screen resolution. Now a lot of people don't like the Fresnel lenses because they're only super clear in the middle, and as you trail off towards the edge of your view, it gets blurrier. Now the full-fledged Quest 3, not the 3S, has pancake lenses. Pancake lenses are significantly superior to the Fresnel lenses, but given that I've never tried pancake lenses, I honestly don't have a problem with the Fresnel lenses. I've never found them to be super out of focus or anything. Just once you get them centered on your face just right, everything looks perfectly fine to me. But depending on how your eyes are positioned on your head, there's only 3 interpupillary distance settings. If your eyes are positioned slightly different from another individual, I do see how you could lose a lot of clarity from not being in line with the Fresnel lenses. On the Quest 3, not only is it not Fresnel lenses, so you don't have to worry about being perfectly aligned, you have much more degrees of adjustment in these eyepieces. First thing that is kind of a downgrade from everything across the Meta Quest lineup is that the Quest 3S has lost the headphone jack. Now I feel like this is going to be a trend going forward into potentially Quest 4, etc. But they removed the headphone jack from the 3S, even though the 3 had it. But we're still working with USB-C charging. The Quest 3 actually has pins built onto it for a charging cradle. Quest 3S does not. You just have the USB Type-C. The charging cradle is a optional accessory though, so I don't really think that was a necessary inclusion. And something that's weird about the 3S is that it's better than the 2 in some ways, it's worse than the 3 in some ways, but it's also better than the 3 in some ways. Compared to the Quest 3, the 3S actually has significantly better low light performance because of the new infrared emitters built into the front. As far as linking to a PC, like people have mentioned, yeah, it's the same. I've tried Skyrim VR, Assetto Corsa, just a couple things. You will simply not find a difference between the headsets. The only thing is the controllers are a little different. On the Quest 3S controllers, which are the same as the Quest 3 controllers, there is no longer a giant ring across the top of the controller with infrared lights in it. Now the infrared lights are all placed underneath this black faceplate, and they actually have 1 or 2 down at the bottom of the grip. That way if you're playing a shooting game and the controller's beside your head, they have lights on the bottom to still track on the side of your head. But even along the side of the Quest 3S, you have more sensors / emitters. I'm not sure which it is, but you got all kinds of stuff going on here. But at least 2 of these, I know for a fact, are your full color pass-through cameras. Now what I will say is you're not going to be totally blown away. It is identical to the Quest 3, but if you've never tried either of them, it's pretty much like looking through a cheap tablet camera or something. Like, it's full color, it's technically HD, but if your room isn't lit up with literal like studio lights, you will see a little bit of graininess and like pixelization in the image. However, you can still read text perfectly fine. It is so much better than the Quest 2's pass-through. Pass-through in the Quest 2, you couldn't even read anything on any screens. If you try to look at your phone to read something, it was just completely unreadable. Something I completely forgot to mention is that the Quest 3S does include a glasses spacer. That way you can play with glasses, because if you don't put a glasses spacer, obviously your glasses are going to touch the lenses and scratch them. Ask me how I know. The answer is my Quest 2. Anyway, from my experience with my Quest 2, I'm not going to experiment with the 3S because this is the new shiny headset. Even with the glasses spacer, just where my glasses were positioned on my face, they would still rub the lenses. So I honestly prefer to just play without the glasses spacer, without my glasses, because I'm not super blind. I guess it just depends where your glasses sit on your face, because mine definitely would still scratch the lenses. And another welcome upgrade on top of both the Quest 2 and the Quest 3. Obviously now you have the same color pass-through as the Quest 3, but you no longer have to aggressively tap the side of the headset to activate it. Now there is a dedicated pass-through button, so you can just press this button to switch to see your surroundings. If you want to, go grab something, look for the controllers without taking the headset off. Now it's just a button, you don't have to tap the side of the headset. Like I said, can't speak for the Quest 3, only had a Quest 2. But with the Quest 2, the tap to switch for between pass-through modes was very inconsistent. And because the Quest 2 has the Fresnel lenses that are very sensitive to have the Quest 2 sitting on your head, shaking the headset around after you got it perfectly sat on your face is not exactly ideal. So while it's not by a lot, I definitely did notice that the Quest 3S is heavier than the Quest 2. On my Quest 2, I have the Bobo VR M2 Halo style strap, which completely got rid of any fatigue I had while wearing it and whatnot. For the Quest 3, I just have a cheap Halo style strap, which I'm definitely going to upgrade later on. So it could be that strap's fault, but I definitely feel a lot of front pressure just pushing down my forehead, and holding the Quest 2 side by side with the Quest 3. The 3 is definitely heavier. Not by a lot. According to Google, it's a whopping 11 grams. So maybe I'm tricking myself into noticing something that can't even notice, but it definitely is a little bit heavier. So with the holiday season coming up, Meta definitely chose the right time to release the Quest 3S. The whole point of the Quest 3S is to migrate anybody who still has a Quest 2 to the Quest 3 platform, because the Quest 3 was a stout $500, and then the Quest 3S with the 128 gigabytes comes in at $299. You're getting all the same pass-through mixed reality functionality with some extra stuff sprinkled on top, like better low light functionality because it's a newer headset, and the new pass-through button. And in my opinion, really all you'll be missing out on is the slightly better lenses and display. You will 100% without doubt get better clarity on the Quest 3, but if you're looking to get into VR for the first time, you haven't even tried anything yet, you probably won't even notice the difference. If you're looking to get into VR with the Quest 3S, for example, as your first headset, you won't even know what you're missing out on. The resolution is definitely less than the Quest 3, but you're 90% of the way there. One major thing that I completely forgot to mention until now: Quest 3S does not have the light sensor between the eyepieces. So what that means essentially is, with the Quest 2 and the Quest 3, you put the headset on, it turns on. Take the headset off, it turns off. 3S, for them to cut costs a little bit, completely does not have that. So you have to press the power button every time you want to turn it on. Now, this does not mean that it's going to stay on if you don't turn it off. If the headset detects that it's not being moved around, or the controllers aren't being moved around or whatever, it will power itself off after a couple minutes, so you don't have to worry about it, draining its battery. It's been taking some getting used to, putting the headset on and then having to fumble around looking for the power button on the side of it, because with the Quest 2, I really never even used the power button. But it is simply the best deal in virtual reality / mixed reality ever. And considering that you could get that $75 back as sort of a Black Friday / holiday deal, and you get this headset for close to $225, and that includes a copy of the new Batman Arkham Shadow, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. Obviously, if you have the $500-600 that you want to spend on a Quest 3, you will have the clarity improvement, as well as a headphone jack, as well as the light sensor, so the headset turns on when you put it up to your face. But the Quest 3S has the same processor, same amount of RAM, and the same, if not better, tracking, since now it has better low light tracking. So if you have a Quest 2 or no VR headset at all, this holiday season, Quest 3S is definitely an apt upgrade. I've never tried the 3, I said this a billion times, but in my opinion, it was worth the upgrade. But that's all from me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. That's all from me. I'm out. Peace.